don't know about you, but what are the things that kind of get you on fire in the world? And I love the fact that this Sunday's reading has Jesus being very human. I love when he's being very human and really just saying it down and out. And here it is, people, you guys don't understand. So he's trying, and he's being very confrontational, trying to shock people to thinking. I think that's what he's doing. His words are addressed to, a really large crowd, and Jesus is talking about time. Time, the time of God's presence, the presence of the Son of Man. He's trying to get their attention, and the mission of the Son of Man is the subject of the first part of his speech and is related to the theme established early on in the gospel when John the Baptist talked about Jesus, and he said he will be like a burning fire. And this beginning is related to the theme of judgment and purging that John the Baptist had identified way back at the beginning of the gospel text. And there's something in us, it's in every one of us, that resist hearing messages of doom. There's no such thing as global warming. Some will still say the Holocaust didn't happen. Who are we? And if we accepted what those attuned to the earth are telling us, I take it would demand for each and every one of us to be a little bit more careful about all the plastic that we use and the patterns of our consumption of all of the earth's resources. If we learn about how racism, for example, can lead to genocide, it would ask us to confront, racial attitudes in ourselves and in the nation, and would demand that we embrace new patterns of relating. But nobody likes to hear prophets who speak about the truth, about dire consequences that will befall us unless we change. Not many things in life are consistently uniform. We can agree on that, that stay the same year after year. Something we do count on, though, is, and it remains the same, railroad tracks. They are precisely 5 feet, 5 inches apart, anytime for thousands of miles. They seldom intersect and they're designed not to interfere with each other. Now consider two intersecting streets in any large city. Regardless of the traffic signals, there are times when conflict of wills causes a violent crash. Steel and plastic, flesh and bone merges certainly with a violent impact, whether we like it or not. None of us are sharers that we have of the parallel lines. Our lives are more like intersecting streets than railroad tracks. We experience, oh yes, we do, clash of wills, ideals, and beliefs. It should not be surprising that the same was true for Jesus. We don't like to look at this side of Jesus very often. We prefer the gentle, soft-spoken, the really nice Jesus, but is the very same person whom we revere as the good shepherd who proclaimed, I have come to set the earth on fire. And how I wish it was already blazing. Ooh, what do you make of that? This is no call for the status quo. This is a declaration of conflict and contradiction. Even more, it is a challenge to anyone who would follow him. He left no doubt that his true followers were going to meet opposition, persecution, and even death. They, like Jesus himself, are to be signs of contradiction. Jesus showed them over and over again how to speak bodily in the name of truth, how to denounce hypocrisy and falsehood. He did condemn the Pharisees with words like, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs that appear beautiful on the outside, but inside are full of dead men's bones and every kind of filth. Even when threatened, Jesus did not soften. He didn't soft pedal the message. He did not back down. There is a baptism, he said, with which I must be baptized. And how great is my anguish until it is accomplished. His disciples could expect no different. Whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life in my name will save it. There is no comfortable, easy way to be a true follower of Christ. He made that clear when he said he would be the cause of family dissension, fathers against sons, mothers against daughters, the reading. How harsh this sounds to our ears, especially in view of that commandment, honor thy father and thy mother. How can we reconcile Jesus' mission of peace with such conflict? It is because no one can serve two masters. Is that what it is all about? His followers did come to accept the cost of discipleship. They faced imprisonment and persecution and death itself. And like Jesus, they had a baptism of suffering to endure. The early Christian martyrs resisted to their deaths, and thousands more followed in their footsteps, casting fire on the earth. Our own time is not lacking in extraordinary witnessing to the faith. The famous, there's many more dying in obscurity, some only known to God. We might think of Bonhoeffer, El Salvador's Oscar Romero back then, and I don't know, the 4 American nuns, I'm not sure if they were Episcopal nuns or Catholic nuns, and even Maximilian Kolbe. We honor thousands of men and women we may never know by name, proclaiming the gospel. There they are in the third world. They are in opposition to the powerful forces that seek to crush the message of Jesus Christ. So we too are challenged daily to rise to the heights in which we are called, if not to actual martyrdom, then to a steady stream of little martyrdoms. We are called to speak out against injustice, discrimination, hatred, and persecution. For each one of us has a baptism with which we must be baptized, and through us, God will cast the purifying fire of his love upon the earth. And Jesus warns his followers not to be taken by surprise if his message provokes conflict and division. The way toward genuine peace is not a gentle, easy road. It is a path that's going to have lots of struggles. Injustice does not die without heavy resistance. Those who embark on Jesus' way are empowered by their own baptism. Baptism brings forth refreshment and joy from being adopted into the family of God. But it is an induction into a difficult, lifelong burning away of anything that stands opposed to the gospel. Sometimes it's within our very selves. And inflamed with the power of the Spirit, those baptized in Christ are empowered to continue his mission of healing divisions as diverse hearts and minds are, fused into one in the furnace of Christ's love. So I ask, what messages of contemporary prophets do you find yourself resisting? And who do you consider as the today prophets? Are the obstacles to a deeper gospel living being burned away in you? Do you feel the Spirit empowering you to do Christ's reconciling work? Try to ponder those truthfully. And the church says, Amen.